Hey guys, this is Hayden, and I'm here with a video on one of my favorite games, Dwarf Fortress. I really like this game, and I really like the community surrounding it, but unfortunately, most of the videos that are posted about it are usually either super long or split up into multi-part series, so I wanted to try my hand at making a video that's a bit more palatable to the average person. That being said, the plan for today is to have a full run in Fortress mode in a much more condensed format. Today's gameplay was completely non-scripted, but this commentary is because I'm doing it in post. I cut out any of the tedious work or special events that ended up not having a big impact on the outcome of the game. Just as a frame of reference for how much was cut out, this fortress had a total of almost 4.5 hours of gameplay that I condensed down into this video. Also, for those who are interested, the tile set that I use today is one made by Crewrelics, who is a fantastic Dwarf Fortress YouTuber that I have linked down in the description. Okay, so the first thing I did was make a new world. I changed the world size to small, partly because I didn't want my computer to spontaneously combust, but mostly because I can't get anything larger than that to export its XML data to Legends Viewer. After a bit of searching, I found the perfect spot next to a river to build our first fortress. I decided to just use the default Embark settings, and our randomly generated fortress name is Ginetzaneg. Oh, thank God there's a translation. Our fortress name is Crewrelics. So the first thing I did after we arrived was dig an opening into a nearby hillside close to the river. Because everybody knows that, unlike most creatures, dwarves prefer to actually live under a rock. Then I zoned out a nice big area along the river bend for fishing. After our dirt hole was cut out, I made sure to mark where the trade depot should go so that we can trade with any passing caravans. So this is the general layout that I started on, with all those little rooms along the bottom meant to hold workshops with a single access point so that we can lock in any dwarves who happen to go insane while making artifacts. But later I decided that there was too many of those rooms, so I merged some of them into larger farming plots with little access points along the back that will feed into our underground irrigation system. As a side note, something that I didn't realize was that if your dwarves don't eat certain foods fast enough, they will start to rot and stink up the kitchen. Anyways, our workshops and farm plots got all finished up, so I went ahead and planted some seeds. This is what it looks like one level below that, with some space for storage, as well as our irrigation channel that isn't quite finished yet. I also dug deep enough to discover a cave system. This is important for later because this caused a whole bunch of adventurers to start to migrate to our fortress. They said that they were there to hunt monsters, but mostly just ended up drinking all of our booze. I kept noticing that tiny monkeys were sneaking in and stealing all of our shiny crap, so I zoned out an area for our guard dogs in hopes that they would be more inclined to actually do their job. A few layers below this, I started queuing up these nice big bedrooms for our dwarves so that they stopped falling asleep among the wine barrels. I also set up this gate so that, in case invaders stopped by, we now had the option of slowly starving to death instead of being immediately and brutally murdered. I realized that our fortress had almost nothing to trade, so I started making some quick stone and wood crafts. Unfortunately, the caravan arrived a little sooner than I expected, so we didn't have much to trade. While I thought that I was giving the traders a pretty good deal, they were so deeply offended by my offers that they promptly packed up their things and left. And while it is rather unfortunate that we didn't get to trade, life in the fortress moves on, and so I finally let the water into our irrigation system so that our wells we built would produce water instead of dirt. Luckily, the elves showed up, and I figured that we could trade for the things that we needed with them. I know that the elves are big hippies, so I had to go through and make sure that we didn't try to trade them anything made out of wood. It was also at this point that I realized our previous mishap with the dwarven traders was less likely due to a bad deal and more likely due to the incompetence of our broker, because when I went to figure out why he had gone a full week without reporting to his duties at the trade depot, I found that he was holding a meeting in his own bedroom by himself. Anyways, after the elves left, I decided that just having a gate to protect ourselves from invaders probably wasn't good enough, So I started digging out this nice long hallway to fill with traps. However, before this trap hallway was anywhere near being complete, disaster struck in the form of a giantess named Stratosphere Suspicious, so I quickly ordered all of the dwarves to go inside. Unfortunately, some of the dwarves weren't fast enough, and the giantess started to catch up with them. It was at this moment that I realized the monster hunters were even more useless than I originally realized, seeing as they had no interest in hunting the literal monster right outside the front door. Realizing that Stratosphere Suspicious wasn't going away anytime soon, I decided to attempt to fight it, but it ended up killing all but 3 of the dwarves. I then got a brilliant idea to make the monster hunters actually useful, so I put the 3 remaining dwarves in the back of the temple and opened up the front gate in hopes of luring the giantess into a battle with the monster hunters. And the plan worked, but unfortunately, out of the 3 remaining dwarves, 2 of them were children, which means that they can't do anything. I didn't see much of a point in forcing a single dwarf to run an entire fortress by themselves, so I abandoned the fortress to ruin. This way, the 3 dwarves would leave this place and hopefully find a better life in another fortress somewhere.